Hey guys, welcome to your bonus video. So today we are still focusing on your auras, your energy, your intuition, all those sort of energetic things. But I want to also bring some mindfulness into some different muscles that are a lot smaller and can be a little hard to get. So I've got some different poses in here for you today as well. And yeah, grab what you need. We don't need any potential props or anything like that. If you have any, by all means have them handy, but yes, that is all we need to do. Let's get started. So let's start by closing off the eyes. Take a nice big breath in through the nose and drop the shoulders down as you breathe out. Start to let the neck be free. If you want to roll it out, feel free to. Taking some long breath in and out through the nose here. Holding in your intuition. Now, I'm currently just rolling my neck around in little circles that feel good and intuitively calling to me to do. So this is what I want you to do as well. Just add in any movements, any rib sways from side to side, any circles. You can get really creative here. So we usually always just start normal, still, the usual way, but tap into that intuition, do what feels good. This is your time. No one's watching you potentially. And just be yourself. Let yourself be free of judgment, of comparison, and just do you. So let's take one more big breath here before moving into our practice. In through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Let's take our nice big reach. Inhale wide and high. Exhale to your spinal twist. Right side first as always. Breathe into that depth. Notice how it's feeling today. Notice your breath as it shortens and you forget about it. Bring it back into your intention. Breathing in length. Breathing out tension. Breathing in length. Breathing into the space. Let's inhale, unwind and reach. Exhale to your left side. Knowing your limits, knowing how much effort or lack of effort you need to put into this pose. Let's take one more big breath here now. And inhale, bring it back, reach up high. Exhale to our side, reach. Right hand to the ground, left arm reach up and over. Lean into it as much as you feel you can without that hip coming off of the ground, of course. Your next inhale, we're going to rise back. Inhale, reach up, both hands high. Exhale to the other side. Last breath now. Let's inhale, rise back up, reach tall. Bring your hands down through heart center. Feel free to open the eyes. Let's meet in a tabletop pose. So once we're there, we're going to come into a narrow position with the knees, and then bring your toes to tuck underneath you. We're going to sit back towards those heels. Come all the way back up if you can. And we're going to bring the interlaced fingers behind the back of the head here. So think of a crunch position if you were to do a crunch, an abdominal crunch. From here though, we're going to exhale, tuck the chin. Think of rounding every single vertebrae down. Keep on going until your forehead, or the crown of your head rather even, rests to the mat potentially. So keep on curling. Now I'm going to be quite restricted with baby belly, but hopefully you're going to ground your elbows as well. Keep tucking the chin and getting a really good stretch to the back of the neck. So hold that there. We're wanting to get not a somersault. We don't want to do any somersaults here today. But this is a bit like our rabbit pose that we've done. But we're holding the back of the neck or head here. So if that feels good and you do want to come into full rabbit pose, just come out of the pose a little bit. Reach your hands to your heels. Toes are still tucked under, hopefully. You might need to widen them a little bit. And then come back into that pose. So tuck the chin, lift the hips, really resisting, getting a good stretch in between your shoulder blades there. So hold either one of those for a couple more breaths. It doesn't matter how much or little your neck is actually curling in. Everybody's different. We just need to do our best. No less and no more. Good. Let's release. So you can untuck the toes or release the hands, whatever pose you're in, variation. Come right out. Nice work. Just roll the neck out gently. Hopefully that's feeling nice. Might need to fix your hair up if you've got some. You may not. All right. Rolling out the neck. This and that I mean for guys and girls or whoever. Okay. Let's come back to tabletop. So that's one pose that's quite different, getting into the little muscles that we often don't get. Let's tuck the toes under, form a downward facing dog. So nothing fancy, just downward facing dog here. Spread the fingers wide, maybe pedaling the heels out. I'm going to come into a low lunge here now. So to get there, let's inhale, rise onto both tippy toes. Lower both knees down to the mat, straight down, hip width apart. And then we're going to swing your right leg all the way up where your right hand was. So we want to have a little bit of a gap between our left and right leg. Find some balance there. Now keep your left heel behind you tucked under today. We're going to walk the chest back up. And rather than sinking into the lunge first, we're actually going to, if you can, reach back for that left heel. Now if that's, not possible, left hand to the left hip there, okay? And just hold that there. Now your body's going to want to sway off to the side a little bit. Try not to let that right knee sway out. Just keep it up and out. I'm going to reach for my heel, and that's all I'm going to do. So my right hand is currently resting on my right leg. However, if you want to take it further, take a little overhead reach like so. So it's a very unusual low lunge happening. You'll feel it's a lot more intense through your psoas. You've got lots of different muscles in through the front of the hip flexors there. Quite different. Now remember, if this is too much, please just listen to your body and come out of that pose. Maybe even just come into a normal lunge with the toes untucked. That's totally fine, okay? Just want to get these different spots that you may not have found yet. I want this to be a whole experience for you. A good one. Now I'm starting to lunge my hips further more into that because I'm really starting to find some space there now. See if you can do the same. I'm just going to look down to the ground. If you want to gaze forwards or upwards, you can. Do it. Just find your balance. Good. Bring the hips back closer to the heel before you wind your way back out. Half splits pose. Bring both hands down in front of either side of that right leg. start to straighten out that right leg. Now, at the moment it's hard work for my left leg because my hip's quite far behind that knee. If you want to wriggle it forwards, come into this normal half splits pose, go for it. However, I do have a different variation today. Now this won't be suitable for everyone once again, but feel free to take this option. So you're going to slide that heel back a bit closer and you actually bring your bum all the way down. Now please be careful if you're doing that. And I'm going to turn my left knee out a little bit. So it doesn't matter what angle your foot's on, as long as it's not painful in the knee either. Otherwise, if you're with me or in that first half splits pose, everyone reach for the ground, either side, or the leg, sorry, I should say, either side of that right leg. If you are in this pose that I'm currently in, you can actually reach for your foot as well if anyone has that reach. Now I'm going to turn my left knee out even more. It just feels more comfortable for me, and I find that I ground my hips more evenly there. So tap into that intuition, notice what feels right, what feels wrong even. No injuries, please. You've got to do what's right for you. No ego. This is a really good hamstring stretch, no matter what variation you're in. Great job. Take one more breath. And we're all going to meet back into a low lunge, okay? So if you're with me, bring that knee back in, push yourself back into that low lunge, and we're going to step it into a forward fold. So meet with your feet together into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Lovely work. I hope that wasn't too challenging. Please know that I'm just deepening this practice for everyone on every different level. If you're not there yet, guess what? You've got many a times that you can repeat this over and over until you get to that deeper, more advanced level. We all started somewhere, and I certainly did as well. Okay, we're going to swap sides. So take a big step back with your right leg then. Really big step back. Drop the right knee down. Lift the chest up. I'm going to keep my right toes tucked under. Anyone wants to take the modified pose, just lunge forwards. Toes can be untucked or tucked. However, let's keep the hips back if you want to join me for that more advanced pose. So your right hand, reach it to your right hip. You can come into that option, or if you want to reach your right hand to your heel, I rest quite a bit of pressure on that heel, and then maybe take an overhead reach. You don't have to take that reach, you can just rest onto that left leg. So start with the hips backwards. We're not squatting low, we need to keep in a little back bend here, little half camel pose almost. Over time, lunging the hips a little further forwards. So nothing really is aligned as such. My shoulder isn't over my heel, my hip isn't over my knee, but I'm finding balance and safety here. Just turning my gaze down for my neck today. Feels nicer there. Such a good release, something so different. Last breath if that's okay. If you're in this position with me, bring the hips back a little and then rise back. Let's all fold into our half splits pose, so straighten out that front left leg now. Untuck your right toes behind you as well. You can stay here, or if you feel comfortable to, make your way down into our seated half splits pose. Now I'm going to turn my right knee out wide as it comes. Excuse me, baby's doing something to my belly. Wide as it feels comfortable. Okay, with the arms then, again reaching either for the leg, for the mat each side of that leg, or maybe to the foot. Now if you're in the kneeling half splits, not necessarily reaching for the foot, it's only if you're sitting down here with me. So let's take some time here, find some breath. Keep the hips square for everyone. Keeping that left foot flexing towards you as well. As much as it's easier to relax, keep it active, because when we're active through the top side of the leg, which I've mentioned this before many times, you're stretching the back side of the leg more. And that's exactly what we want. I do love this pose. Both of them, both variations. One more breath in through the nose. Sink into the exhale. Good. Inhale. Rise back up, nice and tall. Let's meet back into that low lunge. So bringing that right knee back in if you're with me. Push yourself back. And we're going to meet to tabletop from here. So slide it back to tabletop. From tabletop, let's come into a seated pose. So once we're in a seated pose, we're going to bring the hands behind us. Now you can point your fingers away from you. I generally like to point them in front of me though, towards the top of my mat. So that's going to get into the front of the shoulder a little bit more. But if you want to go halfway, please do. So we're coming into reverse tabletop now. Bring your feet hip width apart in front of you. Nice little triangle there. And we're going to just gently lift a little way up, see how it feels. So lift the hips up, keep the chin tucked. Look at my pregnant belly. And then exhale, bring it back. Notice how that felt. Was that okay? Do you need to turn the wrists out somewhere? So I'm going to change it just actually today, see how it feels. Let's go again. Inhale, prepare, long spine, draw the belly in. Exhale, lift the hips high. So that's actually feeling better for my wrists today. I got a bit more weight there to lift up now. So squeeze the glutes, lift the hips high, hold it there for a breath. And exhale, lower it back down. Good. Give the wrists a little roll out if they need that. And let's do one more if you're up for it, all right? If you're not up for it, you can just chill out and meet me when we're done. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, lift the hips up. Hold for another breath. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower it back down. Nice work. Bring the soles of the feet together, but quite far in front of you. And we're going to lean forwards into this cobbler pose. So butterfly pose, as we know, we usually have the feet close. Today, bring them out nice and far in front. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, I want you to slide your hands further down the legs, maybe reaching for the feet, or you can reach for the top of your mat there. So tuck the chin, round the back as much as it does, and hold this pose here. So this is a great pose for the hips and the back. Remembering that we don't want to bring the feet closer, we actually want to bring them just a little further away from us. So it's quite a diamond shape. Continue to tuck the chin around the back, let yourself sink into it. Take one more breath here. And you can rise back up. I've just change directions. You can face whatever way you like. Cross your legs however is comfortable, or stretch them out long. And we're going to bring your left hand and just behind your back. So I've got my knuckles against my spine basically, and my shoulders I'm going to drop down. So we're going to aim with your right hand to reach either for your shoulder or further down to your elbow. Now if this is way too much, just bring your hand further out wider towards your sort of hip here. So maybe resting your hip, your wrist on your hip. I'll get there eventually. And then just rotating the elbow forwards here. But if you can, try and keep it relatively behind your back. And we're rolling the elbow and shoulder forwards here. So not curving your whole back down. Let's just pick that back up. We're rotating the shoulder in this front direction. So we opened it up before in our tabletop pose, and now we're just testing out the reverse rotation. So you can just gaze any way you like, maybe close the eyes, make sure the legs are comfortable. Take one more breath here. Good, and then we're going to release, take a nice big arm reach, both arms high. Exhale them down through heart center. And let's swap sides. So bring your other right hand behind you this time. So whether it's just to the hip, and I've got a bit of a bent wrist there to be able to reach that, that's okay. We just need it to be holding on to the hip so we have some resistance. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to do anything. So wrap and hold, and then allow that shoulder and elbow to rotate forwards and down. So try not to shrug this other shoulder. Find balance, find your posture, be gentle. We're getting into lots of unique muscles and spots today. Notice how this side feels. This could be quite different because of an injury, because you're left or right-handed. Lots of little things. So not reading into it too much, just acknowledging that difference if there is any. Take one more breath now. Good, let's release. Take a nice big arm reach, both arms. Exhale the hands down through heart center. And let's come into a lying position. So stretch your legs out long to the mat. Heels just over the end of the mat. Arms out long. Inhale, nice big tall spine. Exhale, reach for the toes. And then inhale, come all the way back. Coming onto your spine, meeting me there. And we'll hug the knees into the chest as we do. Once we're there, let's just do a little spinal twist. Keeping both knees together, both arms out wide. Rotate the torso over to the left side. So brace the tummy, roll the knees over. Option to change your hand grip to rest on the leg. Look over to the right side. Nice gentle twist here. Brace the tummy, let's roll it back. Over to the other side, straight away. And rest there for a couple of breaths as well. Okay, brace the tummy, roll it back to the spine. Hug the knees into the chest. And now is the time to get yourself ready for our meditation. So if you want to pop any socks and jumpers, anything like that on, do that now. Press pause if you need to, take a few moments to do that. Otherwise, I'll meet you in a straight-legged Shavasana. As you lie here on your back, then tuck the shoulder blades down behind you so the neck is long and free. The feet are nice and wide, rolling the toes out. No effort whatsoever now. Know that I will be in a seated position. I will guide you every step of the way to meet me there at the end. For now, close your eyes and relax. Take a big breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Big breath in, sigh it out. Last breath if you'd like to. Let all effort go. As you lie here, I want you to notice the energy surrounding your body, almost like a shadow, but in a colour. So notice what colour your aura might be right now. Maybe a few colours, maybe just one. Noticing the sound of the singing bowl. So it brings your awareness back into this room, this space and energy, frequency around you. Taking a big breath, breathing all of it in. Allowing your fingers and toes to find themselves with a little bit of movement starting to form. That movement stems a little bigger and bigger into the ankles and the wrists. Into the elbows, taking a big reach over your head, however you'd like to. then hugging the knees into the chest. Rolling off onto your right hand side in that fetal position. When you're ready to rise, meeting me there in a seated position. Relax the shoulders down. Maybe finding your essential oil. Alright. Warm those hands up if they're cold. Spread that oil around. And we're going to take our 3 big breaths. So when you're ready, prayer pose. Bring the hands as close to the face as you like. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Remember to drop your shoulders down with every exhale. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more big sigh of release. Inhale. Let it all go. With your prayer pose, let's bring the thumbs and rest them up at your third eye. With my thumbs at my third eye, my thoughts are pure and clear. With my thumbs to my lips, my speech is pure and clear. With my thumbs to my chest, my heart is pure and clear. Taking our moment now to find whatever it is that you're grateful for today. Remembering to choose 1, 2, or 3 things, something different each time. I'm so grateful to have you here on this journey with me. Namaste.